like to streamline their efforts in 2025? Yes? Let's streamline your efforts and also create more opportunities. Let's magnetize opportunities. Who would like to magnetize opportunities and also do it without as much overwhelm? Magnetize the exact customer that you actually would like to work with. Say, that's me. Say, that's me. Okay, we have an issue right now. Anne-Marie told me that I was walking into a room filled with influential women that wanted to blow 2025 out of the water and were ready to roll. They were looking for new clients, new customers. They wanted to be leaders in their community. I didn't know I was walking into like a crochet conference. Can we try that again? Which influential women and men that are in this room, because they are big enough and bold enough to be here, right? Can we just give an amen to the men, ladies? Thank you. Are ready to magnetize more of the opportunities that you actually desire, the customers that you would like to work with, more effortlessly, with more magnitude, without the overwhelm, and with more ease in 2025. Say, that's me.
That's me.
Thank God, I was about ready to walk up to the anatomy room and just hang out with all the people dissecting people. So I'm so glad you are here. I know that some of you know who I am, and some of you don't know my story. So would it be okay with you if I share just a little bit about me? Say, that's okay. Yeah. Thanks. So back in 2016, I was a hot mess. I know, you probably didn't expect me to say that, did you? I was living in my hot mess decade. I had just been, well, not recently, but it was in the middle of the culmination of where I was at the time. And so had been in a divorce, so I was coming out of being divorced after a 15-year marriage. My finances were a disaster. I was having to learn how to be the breadwinner for 3 children. My relationships, because I was a disaster, weren't great either. And on top of that, my Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, was really starting to affect me because of the stress that I was under, right? The debt that I had incurred with our divorce, all the things. And being a high achiever, I'm assuming there's a few high achievers in this room. Say yeah. Well, you gotta claim it. You gotta claim it. Being a high achiever, I thought if I just do more, work harder, grind a little bit more, I'll make my way out of this. I was living in fear because I wasn't quite sure how to do that. I was living in overwhelm, and I was exhausted because I was working harder. Has anybody ever been in that exhausted, overwhelmed? Yes, I thought so. Yeah. And what I realized in that moment is it wasn't working harder that was going to get me out of this. It was a better strategy. It was better people around me. But also, it was me up-leveling me as an individual, as a woman. It was me taking myself to a new level, an upgraded level. And so I started reading, I started discovering, I started seeking. And one of the books that I read early on in 2016 was actually it was 2017, Brendon Burchard. Has anybody read High Performance Habits? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. He actually surveyed probably hundreds of top achievers, like millionaires, billionaires, Olympic athletes. And he wanted to know what was it that were commonalities with every single one of these people. And so these are the 6 performance habits that he actually talks about in his book. And that's where I started. And as I started reading more and more, I started learning more and more. And I started figuring out, you know what? It's not that I have to work harder. I said that I have to have better strategies. And that one thing can change many things. But you have to know what those one things are to change the many things so you're not working as hard, so that you're not wandering around in the desert for too long, right? And then as I began to do that, I began to formulate strategies of my own. And I began to figure out when there is uncertainty, when I'm in a place of overwhelm, when I don't know the outcome. Your hair is so cute. I'm sorry, but Roxanne cut her hair.
It's so cute.
When I'm in the place of not knowing what's next, when the world is a little crazy, what do I do then? How can I always be the stability in the storm? Because what we do know is there's always going to be a storm. There's always going to be a changing environment. Can we agree on that? Can you just wave if you agree on that? No? Like, did nobody else go through COVID? And what I do know is the things that we do, the things that are coming, we can't always control. Most of them. But what we can do is prepare ourselves. We can know a better way, right? So I started a formula, and it really worked for me. Well, come COVID, all of a sudden I realized there was crazy. Nobody could have understood or known what was coming. Am I right? Not one of us could have changed the results or the outcomes. Not one of us had control over what was going to be done the next day. But what we could control are other things like ourselves, our habits, our mindset, how we choose to act, what we choose to believe, who we are in that situation. And so during COVID, it was interesting because it kind of came full circle. All of a sudden during COVID, when not everybody, but many people were going, crazy because they just didn't know, it was scary. I mean, it was, right? There was so much uncertainty. But in the midst of that, I went from barely making $60,000 to making multiple six figures. I went to up-leveling who I was as an individual. I built a business my way. Even though I was in a corporation, I did it my way so I could choose to work with my clients how I best could serve them. My relationships were uphill. I was out of debt. And my Hashimoto's, I had taken care of it because I learned how to deal with stress. I came up with a new era formula that could work in any situation because now I could be in control. I could be in power. I could choose what I wanted to do and how I would react. It was funny. Recently, Jeff and I were in Florida. This is my new husband. Can you just say hi?
Hi.
Isn't he sexy?
I don't know who I am.
We decided in 3 days to get married on January 1st. True story. We're a little spontaneous, but we were in the Keys in Florida traveling with friends, and we had known that we wanted to go jump out of a plane at some point. Some of you are like, so stupid, why would anybody? But some of you know, like you have, or just to do things. Well, we didn't have any plans to do so, and we were in a bar at the resort, and he happened to be talking to the musician. And they strike up a conversation about skydiving and about a company in the Florida Keys. What do you know, 2 hours later, we are jumping out of a damn plane. Now, one of the girls chose not to, and afterwards, she was sitting with us at dinner, and she said, Jamie, because her husband did it, and the other couples did it, she said, Jamie, were you scared? What was it like for you? And I said, no, it wasn't. I had made the decision. I knew that no matter what, I didn't control the outcome once I jumped out of the plane. So instead, I'm going to fully embrace and enjoy, relax, and be fully present in that moment. And truly, I could say that from the inside of my being because I had been through all of this. I had come up with these strategies that helped me be that woman, that person in any new climate that I was going to be. Now, it doesn't mean that I always feel confident in every situation because there's going to be moments where I'm triggered, where you're triggered, where things come up that we haven't dealt with or haven't handled, correct? Can we just shake your head and just know you are never, ever going to be fully confident in everything, but you can be that woman, that man that steps up into the fullest version of you in that moment and have strategies and formulas that can take you there. So today what I decided to do is talk about today, now. Because we're in a new climate. We have just entered a new era. Whether you like it or not, whether you're ready to accept it or not. And what you choose to do from here is your choice. Who you choose to be is your choice. How you plan to accelerate is your choice or not. So things have shifted and they will never be the same. I want us to take that in because it's a true statement. The world is just going to move faster and faster and faster. And it is going to be totally out of your control what unfolds. What I want you to know is it's not your fault if you feel fear, if you feel uncertainty, if you feel like you're already getting left behind, if you don't know what to do next, you don't know what strategy, you don't know which AI company to follow. It's not your fault because there is so much out there, right? Can we just agree there's so much information you can't even consume it? There's so many other things that people are trying to say, if you do this, if you know this, that you're gonna be fine. And so society, it perpetuates this fear inside of it. It perpetuates this overwhelm. It perpetuates us not knowing, so we sit in procrastination. Instead of becoming and doing the things we really know deep down inside, we were intended to do and be. Lead, right? The CEO of Google actually said that the invention of AI is a bigger invention and will have more impact than the invention of fire and electricity. I want that to sink in. We are in a new era. Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi over and over are saying the last year, the 12 months that we've just walked through, have over-exceeded and gone way beyond what we've learned and done and how far this society has come in the past 50 years. That's how far we've come in a year. If you don't think that is exponentially gonna continue, you're crazy. And that said, this is what I really want you to take away. Not all the fear, not all the overwhelm, because that doesn't do us any good. It's the reality that there's so many opportunities right now that are available to you, that were never available to you before, and will never be available to you again if you choose to take advantage. You can shine in this new era, but you do have to operate and succeed in this environment because it's constantly shifting in a different way. You need new strategies and you need a new level of you. Are we good with that? Because that's where we're starting today. Does that sound fun? Y'all are so serious now. Did I get Just so you know, I like to have fun everywhere I go. But what I want you to do is there's two identities. And right now today, in this room, you can shift. You don't need to take 10 years. You don't need to take 20 years. You don't even need to take 12 months. You can shift in this hour that we are in this room together. Right now, you can choose. And from this point forward, you can choose to be either a traditional, which at this point is called a stagnant leader, because if you're sitting in tradition, you're going to be sitting in stagnation, or a new era leader. Now, stagnant leaders, if you don't know their characteristics, you don't know what you're doing and what you're not doing, right? And the other thing I want to mention is there is no shame, blame, guilt, anything. There is no condemning yourself. There's only grace and movement. So today, what we're going to do instead is we're going to learn the different characteristics so that you can choose. I'm giving you the power today to walk away from this room and choose. Which one do you want to do? And you can choose in this moment. And you can choose as soon as you walk out. And you can choose 10 minutes from now, an hour now. Tomorrow, you get to choose over and over. And if you fall and slide back, it's okay because you can step back over the line. Are we okay with that? Can you wave to me? Are we good? Come on. I want to know that you're not getting too hot and tired because it was a little warm. So resistant to change, short-sighted, isolated, authoritative, rigid, facade-driven. Let's dive deeper. So, a stagnant leader. Now here's the thing. If you recognize these characteristics, mindsets, old beliefs in yourself, again, it is not a place where you get triggered, get upset, stick your foot in the sand, say that's just how it is, that's just who I am. It's a place of being able to cross the line and open up to a new idea, open up to a new way of being. And so relies on an outdated method. Now, if you rely on outdated methods from this point forward, you are going to be stagnant. They also avoid taking risks and embracing innovation. Short-sighted, they focus on maintaining the status quo rather than driving long-term impact. They operate independently, avoiding collaboration or opportunities for shared success. Collaboration is going to be a big thing coming now. No more competition. You're creative and you're collaborative. You're creating bigger results than what you used to create on your own. Leads through control or fear rather than empowerment and inspiration. Struggles to adapt to new challenges or trends, often clinging to old ways of doing things. And prioritizes appearances over authenticity and over creating connection with others. Now the new era leader, they're innovative, visionary, collaborative, empowering, adaptive, and authentic. Are you ready? Because this is who we're going to step into today. Are we ready? Yes or yes? Yes. Thank you. I said, are we ready? Yes or yes?
Yes.
So we embrace change. Now I want you to talk about this like yourself. We embrace change. I embrace change. New strategies, emerging technologies like AI to stay ahead. Now if this triggered you're like, it's okay, like breathe it through. You don't have to be this person today, but from this point forward, the choices you make are going to involve this person. We're going to be open. Focus on growth, long-term impact, and creating movements that inspire others. I like to call it your destiny identity. What is your destiny identity? You don't have to wait 20 years to get there. I'm telling you, things have shifted so fast. You can choose to step into that identity now in 2025. Seeks meaningful partnerships and thrives on connection and mutual elevation. Uplifts others, fosters inclusivity, and builds team aligned with a shared mission. I know Mary here, Mary Wave. She just started a brand new restaurant that is amazing, and it has a significant meaning where she's bringing those that are less, that have less right now, into the same dining spot with those that are more affluent, that have enough. And she's bringing them into a situation to up-level them, right? To give them this lift, to provide food, which is a necessary need, but also then elevate their mindset, elevate their conversations, elevate where they're going and what their hopes are. Maybe put them in connection with other collaborations that can help them get out of the situation they're in, or get them into the person that they need to be. Responds effectively to shift in industries, markets, and leadership demands. Adaptability is huge. I want you to get that over and over. If I haven't said it yet enough, you have to be adaptable and flexible. And then embodies personal and professional integrity, embracing the true self of who you are. Now again, I don't care who you were when you walked in this room. I don't care what's happened to you, what's happened for you. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you haven't done. Because today, right now, you get to choose whatever, whoever you want to be. So if you want to take a picture of this, just so that you have context, and you can start living into some of these characteristics, adapting these, integrating these, go for it. You can put it up on your vision board for the year, because you are now becoming a new era leader. All right, so can we talk a few strategies? Oh, here, go ahead. One more second. Okay, can we talk a few strategies? Because I like to leave you with actual strategies, doable, actionable items, activations you can do that are easy, but life-changing. Is that okay with you if we do that? Say yes, Jamie.
Yes, Jamie.
Oh my God, I love you so much right now. All right, number one. Identity up-level. You are gonna have to up-level your identity because what we're sitting in many times and the things that hold us back from being that top version of us is ourselves. Our old stories, our old limiting beliefs, our self-sabotaging behaviors, the things that we believe we are capable of and not capable of. So make decisions from this point forward from your future self. I'll talk in a minute about that. Be adaptable, lead, learn, and change every single day. Invest in your next level to collapse time. And we're going to talk about this one for a second because if you don't choose to invest in yourself, it's going to hold you back. And I see many times business owners and entrepreneurs that invest in their business. They invest in another strategy. And a strategy is great. Say, for example, maybe you need more leads. So now you have a strategy for leads. Maybe you want to organically grow your social media. So now you have a strategy for that. What I also see, though, is if when people don't choose to grow and change and invest in themselves, that's going to be your limiting factor. Because when you invest in yourself and up-level those strategies, now that changes everything in your life. Every single thing, your relationships, your health, your mindset, because your mindset is what controls everything you do. It just is. And so that's the one limiting factor that will hold you back from anything that you want to do. Anything that you want to do. So let's talk new era leaders. They invest in themselves. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in your business 100%, but I'm also saying invest in yourself. The stagnant leaders, they either don't invest in anything, they just want all the free information, and then they get overwhelmed with all the free information, and then they have no strategy because they're using everybody's strategies, right? And it's like this big conglomeration of stuff. So they do actually, the stagnant leaders, they don't do anything. So right now there's a linear pathway. Our past creates our present and who we are, which creates our future. Would you agree with that? Does that look normal to you? Yes? So who we are, what we did, creates who we feel like we are and what we're doing today. What we're doing today is what exponentially creates our outcomes for tomorrow, for a year from now, 20 years from now. What I want to suggest is something Dr. Benjamin Hardy suggests. I want to shift your mind shift today, your mindset today. Who here has heard of Dr. Benjamin Hardy? Raise your hand. Oh my goodness, people, you need to get up on him. He is the shiznizzle. Okay. Truly, he wrote The Future Version of You. He wrote 10x is better than 2x. He wrote Personality Isn't Permanent. I mean, I've read like all of his books. He's phenomenal. He has a new book coming out called Rapid Transformation. It's a must read when it comes out. But what he is suggesting is your present needs to affect your past. What do I mean by that? That means that we reframe our past to create who we are today. We look at the mistakes we've made. We look at the traumas that have happened. We look at who we were. We look at who we've been. We look at what has happened. And instead of letting it and allowing it to create limiting beliefs, let it create the doubts and the distractions of us actually believing with confidence that we can accomplish whatever we do desire. That old self holds us back. So instead, we take it and we reframe it. What have we learned? Who have we become? We don't want to get rid of it. We want to understand how do all those little pieces and lessons integrate in who we are, because I can guarantee you the God of the universe Let those things happen so you can be the person you are today and make the changes in the lives and the environments that you need to be doing. You are called to a higher purpose, and I can tell you, if you're in this room right now, I am just telling you, this is sacred ground. You are here for a reason today. You were created to create change. You were created to be a new era leader if you choose. But you have to go back and heal those things that passed. You have to go back and reframe those things. And then you can step into the boldness of who you really are. You can accept and move forward. And then your future actually is what creates your today. Now, what do I mean by that? Your future self is who makes the decisions for what you want today. If you instead take your future self and you imagine, who is that? What's she like? What's he like? Is she a leader? How does she speak? How does she walk? What movement has she created? What are people saying about her, you, in that moment, in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? That person, that individual, right then and now, that knows all the things you wish you knew, that person you can ask, what would she do right now? What would she decide? What would he decide? And when you ask from the future version, that higher level self of who you are, that is when you make the right decisions and create the faster 10x outcomes that you're actually looking for, instead of swirling around in this crazy system of things and ideas and desires that are never coming forth for you because you're living in the past and not using the future to create your results now. So a new era leader is going to create their future self and ask over and over, every decision, when you set your goals, when you talk to your family, when you set your intentions with your team, what's that woman, what's that man going to do? Oops, I forgot my activation. Where'd it go? Okay, here. I wanted to give you guys activations. Oh, I'm so fast at this. My future self has already gone past. Okay, activation. So here's the thing. If from this point forward, begin to make decisions from your future self. Now, if you don't know who that is, that's a problem, isn't it? So what I want to encourage you to do instead first, if you don't know who that woman or man is go home. When I work with my top VIP clients, I have an entire kind of process I take them through so that they can envision and immerse themselves in that person, so it's easier to be able to make those decisions. But you can go home and get very clear. Who is that woman or man? What are the characteristics? Like, what would I want to do? Who would I want to be? What do I want people to say about me? And what movements, what difference, what impact do I want to make on the world? And you create, you sit in, you revel in that person. And you begin to integrate that person into you. All right. I am so passionate. I am only on number 2 and we almost are done. All right, I'm gonna stop with this one and then I'll show you something else. I have 2 more strategies. We're not gonna have time. I guess we're just gonna have to have you back. I don't know. But energy management. Now this is just a strategy. But what I will tell you is it can change everything. Like if you need to change one thing today, this would be a great thing to change. Because, and this is what Brendon Burchard mentioned, is it can change your overall happiness, enthusiasm, success, confidence, influence. When you choose to change your energy management, you can choose your capacity. In order to be the person you want to be, you're going to have to up-level your capacity. That old version of you can't even hold a minuscule piece of who you need to be and who you are to rise into that space. So your capacity needs to extend and expand. Instead of overwhelm, you need to be in overflow. And how do we do that? And I like to think about all the waves of things that contribute to your energy. It's the people that you're around, the environments, the habits, physical, mental habits, right? It's the things you allow into your system, whether it be the music, the TV shows, the communities. So it's this beautiful wave. Now, let me ask you this. Who here has walked out of a room where you just felt completely drained because you were meeting with somebody and they stole every ounce of energy and you were pissed and you were triggered? Sorry, I do cuss once in a while. This is actually mild. You were upset and you were triggered and you were not feeling like the best version of yourself. Who in here has experienced that? Oh my gosh. Y'all need to raise your hand high on that one. All right, and then, have you also experienced when you've left a room, you've left a coffee appointment, you've had a phone conversation, and you literally feel so alive and so excited, and you feel so much more like yourself? Who has experienced that? So I just told you what an energy stealer was and an energy contributor. We want to be, the simplest thing is do more of the things that contribute and extract more of the things that steal, right? I call this your potential gap, because here's what you need to know, and here's why this is a great place to start. Here's your potential, your best version, right?
And here is your vessel.
Here's your vessel, okay? So just know this is your vessel, this is your potential, the best version of you. Now, if you're not taking care of this and you're not taking care of the energy stealers and contributors, your potential has to come down to meet what your vessel can actually do, what your mind can do, what you're mentally and physically capable of doing. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Think about all the times you've been exhausted, overworked, overwhelmed. You have limited capacity. And what I see over and over with a lot of my clients is they literally are doing, because they're leaders, because they're overachievers, because they feel responsible for everybody else, they're taking care of everybody else's needs first. And they are also allowing these energy stealers to continue to steal their energy. What I want to challenge you to today is to begin to stop that. Put yourself first. It may sound selfish, it may even feel selfish, but when you do, you have so much more to contribute to this world. It's so much more fulfilling. You will have more creativity, productivity, you will be more driven, you will have a better solution finding ability when you put your energy management first. I feel so passionate about this that I actually created a course on it, Energy Management Accelerator, because you will find everything that you need to get to your next level. That's where it is. That's where you start. If you need one place to start there. And that is what a new era leader does. They manage their energy instead of letting their energy manage them. I want to say that again. They manage their energy instead of letting their energy manage them. Again, you're in control. So, your activation, begin to assess what steals your energy and what gives you energy. Now, it's not just an assessment, people. You actually have to do something about it. Because then all what will happen is it'll be on paper and you'll be even more frustrated when so-and-so totally takes you off track and you feel like a lesser version of yourself because you allowed the meeting and you didn't put boundaries up. So, commit to yourself. It's worth it. Put yourself first and begin to acknowledge, assess, and take out the energy stealers. And then shift. How can you put more of the things that you love back in your life? How can you take care of your body and your brain so that you can do more and take it to the next level and think higher level thoughts? Be the leader that you're actually created to be. All right. I'm going to go past. There's a couple. Oh, actually, I don't want to go past this one because it has to do with you. Even though it's a bunch of pictures of me. Sorry. So this one is lead yourself. I do want to go through this really quick because if you don't lead yourself, you can't lead others. So what does it look like to lead yourself? You own your authority. You lead with impact and legacy. You raise your influence, which, just so you know, when you raise your influence and authority, that will raise your income. Yeah. You share your message because there is specific messaging that you have given, that you've been through, the things that have happened in your life that other people need to hear. You'll be more aligned and congruent. And what happens then is when you step into a room, you step into your power and ease because you just are who you are. You know what you've been through, you know what you contribute. And you know and accept yourself. And that's a big one. I can't even tell you how many high achievers I've worked with that they struggle with this. They struggle with imposter syndrome, right? Because people see them as this, but they see themselves as this. They haven't left that gap of actually becoming that woman and that person inside that shows externally outside. This is why I'm showing you this, because these are all the different facets of who I am. I'm deep and I'm intense. You can ask, people will be like, she stares into my soul. I'm not meaning to. I'm free-spirited, I'm a leader, I'm confident, I'm a creator, I'm a connector, I'm sassy, playful, I'm sensual and feminine. What I want you to get from this is these are a lot of the things that I didn't bring forth in years past. I played small. I hid because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be told I wasn't enough or be too much, right? And I think women will certainly understand this. We live in an environment where we're too much, not enough, where we're afraid to fail because we will be judged, right? There's so many pieces of us that we play small or we dim. Now, most high achievers I work with, including myself, you can raise to a certain level and still slide under the radar without getting attacked or criticized. But what you know, and I want you to tap in right now, are you still playing small in any area of your life? Do you understand and feel and know there is a deeper calling inside of you that you can unleash and that's gonna trigger people, and I want you to know that's okay. Because until you trigger people, you're not playing full out. I'm just gonna tell you. Because when you're playing full out, you're actually living by your core values, and all of our core values aren't the same. All of the pieces of who we are aren't the same. So until you choose to step forward, the world is missing out on you. There's so much more. What I want you to know is if this is fun for you and if you want to dig a little deeper, I'm going to offer a masterclass because I knew that I would not have time, obviously, to share everything. And these strategies go a little deeper. So you can take out your phone and you scan this. Today it's $47. I actually, with this code, if you do it today, my team is going to take this away. It's NE Workshop. If you put that, it's free. And this is going to happen on January 31st. It's just an online workshop. What I do want you to know is this is for the people that have a higher calling. This is not for you if you're like, I am totally good, I don't want to change, I'm good, okay? This is for you if you have reached a certain level of success and you want another level of success. This is for you if you want to create larger scale impact and be a thought leader. This is for you if you want to create movements and wave and change. And this is for you if you want to lead in your industry. Because for me, my passion is to lead leaders. I want to work with those new era leaders. Let's make some waves and let's make some change this year. This is just a few people that have done past masterminds with me, some of the things they have said. I love to work with business people. I love to work with high achievers. I love to work with owners and leaders. So, if this is something you do want to do, let's do it together. All right, upgrade your community. This is something you have to do if you're going to change. Because if you don't upgrade the people around you, it's going to be really, really, really hard to stay there. So your network how you create with those people, and who you collaborate. Now I want to take this to higher new era level leadership level, because I know that we've all heard, who has heard here, wave to me real quick, the 5 people that you hang around with are the average of who you are. Who has heard that? Yes? What I want to say is you need to get in the room with bigger people that make you uncomfortable, because that's true. And if you are where you are right now, you need new people to go where you're going to go. So I want you to get in rooms that are uncomfortable for you this year. I want you to get and brainstorm and think with other current thinkers and constant learners. Action. What I do know is action is what creates that speed of action, is what creates the results. When you sit and procrastinate, that delays you, and you're not going to get what you want. So, a new era leader is going to get around new people this year, and this is what I want you to do. Make a list, but instead of thinking of the typical people you would think of, I want you to make a list of the clients or customers you want to draw to you, the things you want to learn, and I want you to make a list of people that go before you with what you do. So for example, if I'm a real estate agent, who are the people that have influence over my people before they even get to me? And then, I'm a real estate agent, right? Who are the people after the process that have influence over my people? I would go partner with those people, because you're the middle ground. Does that make sense to everybody in this room? Nod. Yeah. It's a different shift in how you collaborate and who you're looking for this year. So these are the 4 kind of strategies we touched on today. I want you to anchor it in and own it. So stand up with me. You're like, oh my God, she's gonna make us do a Tony Robbins thing. The reason why we're doing this is because if you don't anchor it and own it, you walk out of here the same person. When you actually do these weird things and physical things, it actually takes it into your body so you can begin to own it, process it, and become it. So I want you to close your eyes just so not everybody's freaking out thinking somebody's looking at you. So everybody is going to be looking or doing the same thing. So close your eyes. So no, and I can see whose eyes are open, so close your eyes. All right, take your hand and tap on your chest. Now, nobody's eyes are open right now, so this is about you. This is a tap. I can see everybody not tapping. Tap. This is a physiological thing you're doing right now. I want you to imagine that best version of you. I want you to think of the things that you've been wanting, desiring to do, but maybe you got off track a little bit. And I want you to think of those deep callings, those movements, those new era things, movements that you want to do, that person you want to be, step forward into. And with your voice, because as you anchor with your voice and tap, it begins to integrate into your being. So I want everybody in the room to say, I am. A little louder, please, because that's weak. I am a new era leader. Getting weak. I am going to step forward with boldness. In 2025. 2025 is my year. I'm believing, declaring, owning that this is my year. I no longer am going to be held back by old beliefs and old identities. I'm going to take care of myself and make energy management a priority. So that I can step into my full potential and lead myself so that I can lead others in bigger ways that actually make a difference, that activate my system, that make me excited. And I'm going to upgrade every area of my life hang out with,
who I hang out with,
what I believe,
what I believe,
and what I choose to do.
and what I choose to do.
Keep your eyes closed. Hand on your heart. You are a new era leader. This is your mirror. Anything that has happened before, behind, around, doesn't even matter. Your greatness is what matters. Who you are and who you're going to be and what you have accomplished and done already is only exponentially going to grow and accelerate this year. Open your eyes. I just want to give all of you a hand because you guys are amazing. And part of it is just you believing in you. You allowing the weird things to happen and doing the weird things that top level leaders do because you want those extraordinary results that those top leaders do. What I would love, go ahead and have a seat. I know that I'm going to do Q&A, so we can do that too. Yeah, we're good. What I would love, and again, this isn't for me, this is actually for you. If anybody, a couple of you would share, did you have a shift in your thinking today? Did you have an aha moment, a breakthrough? I want you to think about it for just a second. And the reason why I'm going to have you say it out loud and share is for two reasons. Number one, it integrates it into you, and when you speak it out loud and you stand in it and anchor it into you, it actually becomes a part of you and it anchors it into your identity. It's like a bold proclamation that this is just who I am now, this is who I've realized, this is how I'm going to change. The other thing it does is it frees other people in the room to realize new things. To be like, oh my God, I had that aha too, and I'm not the only one. So is there a couple people that are bold enough in their new era newness identity that would share even just one, it could be small, a takeaway, an aha, any new kind of thing that they learned today? Anybody brave enough to share? Thank you.
Oh, do I have to have a microphone?
No, you can talk loud, Amy. Amy's gonna talk loud.
So I was thinking about the energy because so far, like, there's a lot about meditating, doing your body, like learning all those colors. And when I saw that come up there, I thought of something that happened to me yesterday, and I wanted to ask you this. My boss is the most toxic person in my life. And I am doing something pretty great that I'm very, very proud of. That's my mom and I, I'm very proud of it. And then one little thing, and she will degrade that entire rainbow is gone. And so you say don't let that happen, but how do you let somebody empower you where she does have impact, not let your energy become not the rainbow? Because that's when I feel like I'm not accomplishing, and I feel, even though I know I'm accomplishing, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, you need to stop letting them have authority over your feelings, right? And part of it is putting boundaries up as far as how you associate with them, what you allow them to say. Sometimes you have to just say, you know what? I don't appreciate that comment. I'm doing this because. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself.
And when you threaten that, like, there seems to be a thing with women.
There's no threatening.
That you threaten that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? So
They may feel triggered, activated by something you're saying. That's not your responsibility. You can only control you. You can control how you let them interact with you. You can control how much time you spend with them. You can control what you say to them. What you do choose to share. If you have something that's really close to your heart and it's a little bit vulnerable right now and you're not so sure, like it's kind of just coming out, it's like new, or you're really proud of it, but it doesn't have quite legs yet, you want to choose who you share those things with, right? We want to choose our right community, people that will believe and also tell us the truth as far as, have you thought of this? Because you can't be just in a little rainbow world where nobody tells you the truth. That doesn't work either, because we won't grow, we won't hear the conflicts that may come up, and those sometimes can save our time. But those are some of the things you can do. Does that help? I love that. Thank you for sharing. All right, I saw another hand somewhere. Yes, do you want a mic?
No, thank you. First, for any of you that aren't familiar with Jamie, her energy management course is amazing. Like, sign up for that class. But for me, and I've heard this from you before, you know, your past doesn't create who you are, and being able to really release that and forgive and forget for yourself, not for other people, was really kind of what came together in that last part that you did.
That gave me chills. I love that. Yeah, who else in here has had like just a thought around releasing some of the past? Anybody have some of that come up today? And I just want you to see the hands, because honestly, everybody in this room has had those moments. So don't ever feel like you're the only one. When I work with high achievers, that's a lot of what I hear is like, I thought I was the only one that felt this, thought this, right? Like the internal things that we think sometimes are so crazy and cruel, and you're like, I thought I was the only one that experienced this. You're not. Every single person has experienced almost every single thought or some type of something that you have experienced before. And when we talk openly about it, do you see how it frees other people in the room to open up, and it frees them to now release other things. It frees them to use their voice. It frees them for all these things. Thank you. I love that. I remember sitting at lunch with you talking about some things. Yeah. Yes, Iris.
I think one of the things that resonated with me is when you brought up the word capacity. Because for me personally, I used to be in a place where I was around people who didn't have a high capacity, right? So they could, like, example, my mom, right? Like, I always wanted her to love me the way I wanted to be loved. But she couldn't love me that way because her level of capacity level was too small. She wasn't never told she was loved, she was never, right? So at some point I had to understand that who I surround myself with, each person has a capacity level, and so you can't really depend on, like, I'm expecting this from you, because not everybody can give you that. So earlier when you mentioned about being in the right room, right, with people with high capacity, leaders, accomplished people who are, you know, high level achievers, that's the best thing that you can do yourself, because the minute I put myself into that room, and I was able to surround myself with people who had higher capacity levels, I was able to be like, oh, so I'm not a problem. I'm like, I got it, you know? So then I started focusing and reshifting my mindset on loving myself, taking care of myself, reading books, and becoming better. But then earlier you mentioned about you feeling like I'm good, but I'm not good enough, right? Because so many people want to, like, oh, she thinks she's too good,
Yep.
right? And so then you feel attacked, and then you want to play small.
Yeah.
But in that same subject, I think the minute I shifted my surroundings, then those people who were doing better were not intimidated by me. I was inspired by them.
100%. And that's, both of those are such powerful revelations and just connections. Because sometimes we just make connections, right, with a thought and a feeling. But it can be really powerful when you rest in the awareness and understand the change it can make in your entire mind shift. So capacity is a huge thing. It really is for any high achiever, for really anybody, because let's just be real. We have certain people in our lives that are stuck there. And we can choose how much time we spend with them, and we can choose where we spend time with them, and we can choose what we allow them to talk about with us, or what we share with them, or how we interact with them. And as we write, so I have another course that I created called Power, and it's really identifying your default patterns that are holding you back from your next level, because we have blind spots, right? And when we identify what we do, we actually create the ability to power strategize and become a better, higher level leader of who we are. And it's powerful because now we can strategize. We know who we need to show up as. We know what strategies we need before, in between, after we've seen them. We can control all of this within ourselves. Now, does it mean that you're never gonna get triggered? Of course not, but then that's an opportunity for you to wait and understand and reflect on why is this triggering me. Instead of hiding from those spaces, instead of deflecting them, instead of internalizing the things that are triggering you, I invite you, let yourself open to them and think why. Is it a past something that happened? Right? Is it a trauma? Is it a past experience? Is it something I did, something I didn't do? Open up and be okay with so much grace that that's what happened, that that's why you're doing it, and now you get to change. And now you get to have a choice. And now you get to create a strategy that makes you this person instead of getting pulled back down in these situations to this lower level version of you that you were as a kid, right? So powerful. And when we do, the other thing I wanted to say, Iris, is as we escalate as women and as you choose to rise into your higher level self, you are going to trigger people. You just are. Again, we don't all have the same beliefs. We don't all have the same personalities. What I realized when I turned 50 a few years ago is that's okay. And when I rise, I inspire other people to rise. The people that choose to be triggered by me aren't ready, and that's their journey, and I'm not responsible for them. I need to no longer feel guilt. I don't have to take them with me. It is their choice as a human, an individual, and a creation by God that they get to choose. Do they want to come? Do they want to grow? And if they don't, it's okay, because it's not their time. But what we can do in the meantime is be the highest version of ourselves. Step into yourself fully, most as the freest version of you can, doing the work you need to do to heal, to grow, to be the woman and man that you are and were created to be. And then you inspire others. And it's so much more fun because that's where you're supposed to be. We make it hard to be this person because we get in our own ways, right? And it's not fun. Just say not fun. All right, y'all, I think that's time. Thank you guys so much. If you have questions, I'll be here hanging out. But if you need anything at all, I was like, where am I supposed to get the mic to? I really appreciate you, and thank you so much.